An encounter that raises tensions in the waters and airspace of the South China Sea. China is accusing the U.S. of a military provocation by flying B-52 strategic bombers over the disputed region. CCTV's Jim Spellman is in the newsroom with more on the conflict. Jim.
Susan, this happened back on December 10th. Two U.S. B-52 bombers flew near the Nansha Islands. Chinese military personnel went on high alert and ordered the planes to leave the airspace. In a statement, a Pentagon spokesman wrote, quote, "The Chinese have raised concerns with us about the flight path of a recent training mission. We're looking into this matter. For this mission, there was no intention of flying within 12 nautical miles of any feature. This was not a freedom of navigation operation." Now that phrase, freedom of navigation, is important. That's the language the U.S. military uses when it intentionally violates the waters or airspace China claims as its own. This doesn't appear to be intentional. All the same, it's raising tensions between China and the United States, Susan.
Jim, it's not the first time the two nations have clashed over the area.
Yeah, that's right. This is just the latest in a string of incidents between the two countries in and above the waters off China. In April 2001, a U.S. Navy intelligence aircraft and a Chinese fighter jet collided in midair approximately 112 kilometers away from China's Hainan Island, killing one Chinese pilot, forcing the U.S. aircraft to land. Those U.S. crew members were then detained by the Chinese government. In November 2013, China established an air defense identification zone in the East China Sea. The U.S. then sent a B-52 bomber intentionally through the zone without contacting China. In August 2014, a U.S. P-8 Poseidon surveillance plane was intercepted by Chinese fighters over the South China Sea. And in October 2015, the U.S. Lassen, a guided missile destroyer, sailed within 12 nautical miles of the Nansha Islands, despite warnings from the Chinese Navy. China now urging the U.S. to employ measures to prevent these sorts of incidents from happening again.